Hi! It's been a good long while. A couple things before I get started. First of all, you might notice that I sound kind of weird. That's because I'm a little bit sick. Sorry if I sound strange, but this is the only time that I have to make a book review right now, and that brings me to thing number 2, which is that I'm really sorry that it's been so long since I made one, since I updated this YouTube channel, which has been gathering dust, but the semester started and I was in no way prepared for just how busy I am going to be this semester, so you're probably not going to hear from me a whole lot. But I wanted to finish up a couple of the book reviews that I outlined and planned while I was still in my happy little summer haze back before I had way too many classes on my plate. I'm coming back with a bang though, because it's a really, really good book that I'm about to review. I am reviewing Paper Towns by John Green. And this is the first book that I've read by John Green. I am a nerd fighter, but I'm a relatively new nerd fighter. I'm like a baby nerd fighter, I guess. I've been wanting to read a book by John Green for a while, but I hadn't really picked one up, and I read the back of this book, and I was just like, what? What's going on? I have to read this book. In Paper Towns, we follow Quentin Jacobson and his band geek friends through a pretty realistic representation of the nerd status in a high school caste system. That's probably really realistic because John Green was probably pretty nerdy in high school. I think we all know that. This is what high school was like for me. It's not active bullying so much as just being absolutely invisible. It happens. Anyway, on the opposite side of the spectrum from Quentin Jacobson, we have Margot Roth Spiegelman, who was friends with Quentin when they were like 9 because they were neighbors. Margot Roth Spiegelman and Quentin Jacobson are no longer friends at the point that we start the book, and Margot is the complete opposite from Quentin. She is wild and spontaneous and popular, and he's kind of entirely in love with her. Whereas Quentin is quiet and shy, she is way out there, and whereas Quentin is kind of a nobody, she is definitely somebody. Our story begins when Margot appears outside Quentin's window in full ninja regalia, which is, it's as weird as it sounds. That's what's on the back of the book. Yeah. She then enlists Quentin to be her driver and getaway man, and they go on a crazy mission. Margot soon disappears because she ran away from home again, except this time she has left a trail of clues that are seemingly pointed right at Quentin so that he can find her. We then go on a wild and hilarious quest when Quentin and his friends and one of Margot's friends, Lacey, they go on this amazing journey to find Margot Roth Spiegelman. The first thing that I want to mention about this book is that it's hilarious. It is so funny. When I was reading this book, I was just like, this humor is right up my alley, and that should probably be a cause for concern for me or something, since it's like nerdy high school boy humor, but whatever. The fact remains that this book is fantastically funny. I was laughing the whole time. Besides being really funny and just being a crazy creative story, it's also a really intriguing look into who we are, who people think we are, and who we let people believe we are. I wasn't really sure how much I wanted to say on this, because I think that depending on who you are, you're gonna kind of get something a little bit differently, but I want to impress upon you why this book is worth reading. It's not just crazy, it's not just funny, it's really, really, really deep. Margot says that her town is made of paper and the people are all two-dimensional. They're all made of paper, but I think that what we learn in this book is that there aren't any paper people. We're all three-dimensional and we're all really complicated. I think the greatest thing that I got from this book was just seeing how even I label people, because even as the book was going, I'd already sorted all of these characters into these little spaces in my head. I'd already decided this is the kind of person that this person is, and that's the kind of person that this person is. And the greatest thing about this book is that all throughout it, all those characters were leaps and bounds outside of my realm of expectations for them, but just in a way that kind of supported the idea that maybe I'm kind of doing the same thing as some of the characters in this book and judging those characters a little too quickly. This book is really relative to anyone's life because we all write people off, I think. We all kind of sort them into little boxes in our minds, and we all come in different shapes and sizes. And we've all heard that all our lives, and yet we still kind of make a lot of assumptions about people right when we meet them. Anyway, that's the biggest thing that this book was for me. I had the feeling that every time I reread it, I'm going to get something different out of it, and I definitely plan on rereading it. I hope that you have been reading some fantastic books even though I wasn't here. I hope that you do choose to read this book because it's really amazing, and I hope that you get what I did and also something that you needed to read out of this book. It is really intricate, it's really ingenious, and I am definitely going to go read the rest of John Green's books right as soon as I actually have time again. As always, whether you read this book or a different one, I hope that you have happy reading, and hopefully I'll see you soon so that I can get done with the rest of the reviews that I planned.